What is going on, guys? Today we got something very, very big to talk about. Is there a major search engine that could potentially end Google once and for all? Stick around, you're not going to want to miss any of this video because I've got some big news for you, and it involves artificial intelligence taking over search engines. It's very big news. I'm going to get into it right now. So I'm over on venturebeat.com, and here it says the headline for this is AI-driven search engine Youcom takes on Google with $20 million. They got backed with some massive, massive funding, and apparently this is a search engine that is entirely AI-driven with artificial intelligence. Now, I also thought it was kind of funny that it's You.com, considering that Google owns one of the largest video platforms that you're on right now, YouTube. I don't know. That sounds kind of interesting. Imagine if Google would have scooped that up and they owned the You.com search engine, but then they owned YouTube. Like, it's kind of the same thing. And I wonder if Google might actually come after this company one day for trademark. I don't know. It's still different, but it is kind of close, especially when they're both doing search engine optimization or search engine stuff, not optimization, but search engine stuff. Now, this is kind of interesting because it may change the landscape of search engine optimization. Speaking of optimization, and I'm going to kind of go through and share with you basically why, if this were to come to fruition. So basically, this is a round of funding led by Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff. I'm probably saying that wrong. But anyways, you can see that this is going to lead to user growth, product technology, as You.com scales its platform to new users in public web. And don't go anywhere because we will check out You.com and test it out and see if it's all that they're kind of hyping this up to be. So let's scroll down here and let's see what the original idea is. So today there's too much information. No one has time to read it, process it, and know what to trust. A single gatekeeper, they're talking about Google, controls the vast majority of the search market, dictating what you see. Very, very interesting, right? Because we do know that Google has been accused of censorship, right? So dictating what you see, too many advertisements, and a flood of search engine optimized pages. On top of that, 65% of search queries. And without a click on another site, which means traffic stays within the Google ecosystem. That is kind of interesting. And if this were to happen, and I mean, it's going to change the way we would optimize, because we'd be optimizing for artificial intelligence versus the way the algorithm works right now. Also, I do think it's interesting that they're saying, too many advertisements, because even in my last video, which if you guys didn't catch that video, it was about how Google My Business is going to be closing its doors. If you didn't check that out, I'll try to leave a card above so you can check that out. But anyways, it's interesting because a comment on that video actually said that they were afraid that that was going to lead to more pay-to-play scenarios. And they might be right. They might be right here. In fact, I've got another article over here that I checked out. Google's local rebrand prompts SMB expert amid antitrust laws. So basically, if you look here, Google is pushing people. New laws may impact business. Proposed legislation could make it harder to find your business online. Basically, Google is trying to tell small business owners, hey, you better side with us on this, or it could affect you. So basically, why I'm showing you this is because it kind of goes back to what this other article is saying over here about, a single gatekeeper. Well, this expert over here is saying kind of the same thing, that Google is basically manipulating small business folks, and it lays bare Google's intentions to protect their monopoly at all costs. So it's just a lot of attack on Google. So what's the deal with You.com? How does it work? What do we need to know about it? Basically, it leverages what's called natural language processing. And this is basically something that a chief scientist at Salesforce built out. So Salesforce has some sort of major hand in this. Not only are they're scientists, they're data scientists working on this, but they're also involved in the funding of it. So this is going to be a form of AI to understand search queries, rank the results, and semantically parse the queries into different languages, including programming languages, which kind of interesting there as well. The platform summarizes results from across the web, and it is extensible with built-in search apps so that users can complete tasks without leaving the results page. And again, they're taking more shots at Google here. First page of Google can be modified by paying for advertisements, which is both annoying to the users and costly for companies. Our new platform will enable companies to contribute their most useful actual content to that first page, and if users like it, they can take an action right then and there. So kind of interesting, and I actually have You.com pulled up. I have not checked it out because I figured we would kind of check it out together. This is my first time seeing it. So let's just go and check some things out. Let's start off our test by checking out their auto suggest. So if I type in the word best, we've got Best Buy credit card, Best Buy Black Friday 2021, Best Western, Best Acer laptop. So I wonder where they're pulling these results from, if these are really the most popular results or how they're getting that. Okay, this is very interesting because their results are displayed really, really differently than the typical Google results that we would see. This actually, I think, would take some getting used to because to me, this feels kind of more like an advertisement than Google actually does, which is kind of funny, but I guess it's not advertisements. But it feels like it, right? It kind of feels like you're looking at an old school newspaper classified section. Comment below and let me know what you think. Like, do you like this layout? Is this something that you think you could get used to if this was kind of like your everyday search engine? I'm not really sure how I feel about it yet. So I'm clicking on one of the results, takes me to the website. I'm probably seeing that in search thing that they're going to allow people to do. Maybe that's this. Okay, so this must be kind of what they're talking about. They've got kind of these open side panels which will allow people to not leave the search and continue. Now that's kind of interesting because that would probably modify the way we as search engine optimization specialists build websites, because I imagine there'd probably be some special code that we might have to use or some special way of building our website so that the search engine platform would actually pick this stuff up. So anyways, that is You.com. That's the AI driven search. I'll be kind of keeping tabs on if this is something we need to be on the lookout for, if it's something that, really might actually come and compete with Google. My guess is if it ever did get big enough to where it was competing with Google, Google would probably just build in their own artificial intelligence into search. Maybe they would buy them out if they wanted to, and probably not going to take over Google anytime soon. But with that being said, if you want to stay up to date on everything in my research, then make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. Click that bell notification icon, and that'll update you every time I post a new video. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please smash a like on it. I will see you next time. I am Paul James. Peace out.